Hello, hello, hello. I'm glad to see that the YouTube... What is this? Oh, no. I gotta take this off of the playlist. This shit will get us copyright ID. Easy. Deltarune. Drink. The only thing I have with me is water right now. So that is what we will drink. One second. And I only have a little bit. I guess I was kind of ill-prepared today. Hold on. I'm gonna take Get Wario out of the playlist. I'm gonna take the Kill la Kill song out of the playlist. That's probably it, right? Anyway, so I was under a little, I was going through a little bit of a fear that maybe, and I'm still not entirely sure that my GPU isn't defective. It's not failing. In the VRAM I tested, it's not failing. I'm reading that based on the event log that I'm getting during my crashes, that it could be a problem with the GPU switching between the idle between the idle state, right? And that's annoying if it is. Apparently there are some ways to mitigate it using software. So I'm not, I'm not in RIP GPU territory yet, but we'll see, It only crashes once a day. So it crashed already today. It shouldn't crash again. Supposedly I was reading it could be due to like a cold versus warm reboot. So I guess you can go and like switch the BIOS, roll back the BIOS from like a 4.1 to a 3.0, and that can solve it sometimes. So I will try that if we still have problems. But, since I already crashed today, I don't think there's going to be a problem. I think we're just going to play video games and it's going to be... nothing is going to be fine. There's an update for the Roottrees Are Dead? Why are there so many updates for this game that came out like 3 years ago? What was today's update? Small patch for April 23, 2026. Tried to eliminate visual bug with lots of white glow on the screen. Oh. Okay. Well, that's good. No more white glow. Ding, 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 ding. Swapping my game over to roottrees.exe/null. That sounds about right. This is such a good song. You know where this song is from, by the way? This song is from a game that fucking nobody played. By Swery65. This song is the opening theme to D4, Dark Dreams Don't Die. It's a Swery64 game that didn't even get fixed. Or I mean, it didn't even get finished. Like, it was released. It was, come on. You can't say nobody knows Super Battle Golf. That shit's popping off right now. It's like, have you guys ever heard of Fall Guys? It's this really cool game nobody's playing. Come on. Hello, Zooey. It's me, Kenzie Fox of the Fox Can't Read broadcast. I didn't even say hello. I just immediately started ranting. Hello everyone. Hello 40,000 viewers. Hello Zooey. Hello Alrose. How's everyone doing? But yeah, this is Z, not Z. I was thinking Zooey. This is D4, Dark Dreams Don't Die. Swery65, it's the guy that made Deadly Premonition. He followed up Deadly Premonition with this game. It's a cool game. Every game that Swery65 makes is cool. Is it good? Well, you know, that's a different question, but it's cool. I don't know if any of the games that Swery65 made is good, but they are all cool. It's kind of like a... Deadly Premonition goes. We love Deadly Premonition. If you love Deadly Premonition, you should try out Twin Peaks, I'm told. I haven't seen it yet. I'll watch it on one of these Sundays. I'll do a Sunday stream of it one day. And Insomnia. I recently watched Insomnia, which is like Christopher Nolan's second film. I think there's a little bit of Insomnia in Deadly Premonition. I think so. I think there's a little bit. They stay in a lodge that looks like exactly the same. The lodge looks exactly the same as in Deadly Premonition. But anyway, so that's where this soundtrack is from. By the way, the game isn't even fully released. Like it ends, the ending of the video game ends on a cliffhanger, and it's like it says to be continued, and that was like 20 years ago, so it's not going to be continued. I know, Albert, come on, we know you're not going to go watch Asmongold, come on. Anyway, I think it's game time. I think it's time to play a game. Let's play the game that we play. Okay, I got a question for you, Zooey. Somebody recommended me 1000X Resist before, right? Hold on, why is the game not here? Oh, I didn't change it over from Tuesday or Monday. I got a question for you about 1000X Resist, Zooey. So I've been recommended this game before, but I recently... I was recently told by someone in the Socialist Gaming Discord server that 1000X Resist is anti-PRC. Is this true? Is it anti-PRC? I mean, you know, I play games that don't agree with me all the time. This game is about helping out billionaires, for instance. And I'll probably play Signalis, which is anti, you know, DDR. But I just want to know. New game. No, not new game. Continue. Wait, did I press continue? Thank you, Plurt. I don't know what to think about that, but thank you. I appreciate that. Oh, the shirt on the fucking game. Oh my god, I thought you were talking about my fucking shirt. And I was like, you can't even see my shirt. What are you talking about? I'm just a talking head, man. Okay, so we did end off last time pretty close to the end of the game. Xenophobia. Okay. How deep in are you? How long to beat, do you think? So we've basically finished all of the family trees. Like, you'll see that it says that we haven't. I know that, and Plorp has a... I know that Plorp does a bad movie night every Thursday. So I know that you have to get to that as well. Yeah, like, these were just missing, like, pictures, you know. I might have to phone a friend on those to see what's going on. But what we really, really need to start on, and we haven't done anything about, is the affair between the family's patriarch and an unknown woman from 1921, which I think is going to be extremely difficult to figure out, because that was 100 years ago. Evangelion? Can I tell you? Bacorns, can I tell you? I've never seen Evangelion. I know it's like, you know, classic anime that everyone has to see. I'll see it eventually. I'll see it. I'll see it one day. I've never seen an Evangelion. I haven't. But is this guy? A lot of filler. Isn't it only like 20 episodes? You're making it sound like it's like Naruto or something. Elias Roottrees, 1921. The progenitor and the patriarch of the Roottrees Candy Company. Married Gwyneth Anderson. But simultaneously, like 15 years later, he does have a mistress, and I think it's gonna suck to find this one. I did save it for last. The final family tree. We have to figure out who this geezer cheated on his wife with 100 years ago. I haven't played any of the Funger, and I haven't seen any of the Funger games. I feel like they would... I feel like they're not for me. I think that maybe they're not for me. I don't know. Everyone loves them. Everyone loves them. Anyway. To figure out stuff about these guys, let us... Oh, fuck. Elias Roottrees. Let's just look him up on the internet. What do we see? Elias and Gwyneth Roottrees were never really celebrities, but the general public's perception of them as classic faces associated with the Roottrees Candy Company has always been something in somewhat of high regards. This was Elias's intention as a family man with his family brand. Since Six Pieces, the Candy Company has placed much less of an emphasis on Elias as a historical brand-connected figure, but there have also been those who have argued that it was his right to decide how to split his inheritance, and that he did nothing wrong. This has led to some heated television exchanges and countless op-eds. The tome I got reincarnated as a bunger. The first Anderson Maple Farm only used to be a popular tourist attraction during the summer months when it had special tours. However, it has since seen an explosion of off-season business as some religious and political groups decided to visit the show's support for Elias and Gwyneth's traditional values and financial rights. This rise in support was in turn followed by pickets from gay rights activists when some particularly inflammatory organizations made their pilgrimage. Amongst all of the conflict, the farm has since been shut down, seemingly indefinitely. The website says check back later, but it has no date listed. The quotes from Bess Williams' book appear to have been taken down. Bess Williams. Hold on. Bess Williams. Who is Bess? Hold on. No. Show latest. Let's look up Bess Williams. Bess Williams. Nothing? I spelled Williams wrong. I also need autocorrect. Bess Williams was an author from the 1800s. She lived outside of Miami. She died after the affair. Bess has a minor history with the Roottrees. Her only notable book, Family Man, is widely considered blatant propaganda about Elias Roottrees. Okay. We'll look that up in the public library. Let's see if there's anything else here, though. In fact, let's add a page. This one's for Elias Roottree. I think there's a chance it could be Bess. Here, we'll put this in our notes. There's a site dedicated to hurricane statistics that also mentions Bess Williams. The Bocadoro Library, not far from where she lived, was partially destroyed in the hurricane. Let's look up Bocadoro Library, see where that is. When they rebuilt, they named the non-fiction section after her. The library was expanded again in 1950 and then closed in 1963 when multiple larger libraries opened in the surrounding area and made it redundant. Okay, Bocadoro Library. According to the website for the library system in Miami, the building where it once sat is now the Miami Print Museum. Searching for Miami Print Museum, you come across their website. It states their hours and lists exhibits. The building is very small, admission is free, and they only have room for a few different displays. One of the exhibits is their courtyard, which includes a fountain as well as a statue of an unknown author. The picture has been added to your evidence. Another is printing press that was used by the Miami Sunday, a now defunct weekly newspaper. The last is the original print by Cubans, an art book. Okay, you know what? Where's the statue? Where's the statue? Right here. Bocadoro Library, unknown author. I'm gonna say this is probably Bess Williams. And I'm gonna suggest that Bess Williams is probably Elias Rootree's mistress. Partially because I already thought that, and partially because if they're giving me a picture of her, it's because we need to use it. This is Bess Williams. She was an author. Okay, this is huge. That's a huge start for us. I said I was going to look up her book, right? Family Man by Bess Williams. Go to the public library. Bess Will.i.am's Family Man. Whoops, sorry. Okay. It's an old book about Elias Roottree. It's blatant corporate propaganda. The dictionary defines propaganda as information, especially of a biased or misleading nature, used to promote or publicize a particular political cause or point of view. But if they were to replace that definition with a picture, it would be a picture of this book. The book tells you nothing new about Elias, and from what you know of his true feelings towards some of his extended family, you're not sure it tells you anything true about Elias either. The reissue of this book was so lazy that they reused the famous photo of Elias from Business Watch, whose copyright had expired. The best thing it has going for it is that it's only 85 pages long. There's two clues in here, somehow. I mean, one of the clues is his face. How are we supposed to figure out... How are we supposed to learn about their affair from 100 years ago? Should I look up maybe the Roottree Legacy? There's an older version? Okay. Go back to our search engine. Go back to Bocadoro Library. Was there anything else here for us? Okay, oh, the Miami Sunday. This is gonna be huge. You know what this is gonna do? It's gonna give us access to a new periodical. Oh, never mind. The Miami Sunday has no records that you can find online or in your periodical search. It merged with another periodical and became the Miami Mercury Sunday, which folded after only half a year. There's that one? The newspaper that lasted only a year, 1949 to 1950, you find a small website about quirky printing history facts that mentions the Miami Mercury Sunday was the outcome of merging two smaller failing newspapers. This resulted in one larger failing newspaper, which was only notable to the author because by combining the names in the way they did, it was tied for the longest title for an American newspaper at the time, with a newspaper in Jefferson, Texas. Okay. Hold on. The Miami Mercury Sunday was mixed by the Miami Sunday. So it must be the Miami Mercury, right? Mercury? It's a defunct newspaper that merged with the Miami Sunday. The resulting newspaper went out of business. It was partially archived and available. Okay. Miami Mercury. Let's look up Bess Williams. She's from Miami. It mentions Bess's young son, now an orphan, was in attendance during the dedication. It also had later mention from 1949, the last year the paper existed, about a bidding war for a planned expansion of the library in 1950. The bidding was won by Wildcat Construction and included a new statue, fountain, and second room that would double its shelf count. Let's look up Wildcat Construction. I don't know if that'll be helpful. It worked on many buildings in the Miami, Florida area. It seems to have ceased operations in the 1960s. Okay, go back to periodicals. Let's look up Wildcat Construction here. Frank Wildcat Williams left Florida in 1941, a construction worker and returned hero. He won the Navy. This could be Frank Wildcat Williams? That's definitely Bess Williams' son, dude. He carried a fellow soldier to safety under heavy Nazi fire. Now he and his wife Ophelia are carrying his fellow soldiers through tough times at home. I was confused because I thought that this was gonna say his wife Ophelia is carrying his fellow soldiers, as in like giving birth to more soldiers. And I'm like, that's fucked up. You can't say that. Okay, highlight this. I was a teenage exocolonist. You know what game I've been playing recently? I've been playing Tomodachi Life. In which case, Karl Marx is falling in love with Cheryl Mason. They even have a woke non-binary fox in that game. Oh yeah, and Alan Wake is in love with me. But he's too much of a little bitch to ask me out. Wildcat Construction is Frank's company. Wait, no, sorry, I didn't answer. I've heard of I Was a Teenage Exocolonist. That's like a visual novel, right? I have all the Stalker games. I want to play them at one point. But I haven't yet. One day. Wildcat Construction is Frank's company, focused on creating opportunities for soldiers finding difficulty getting back to normal. Ophelia has handled outreach to the wives of... Oh, I should make note of this. This is Frank Williams. I haven't played I have played Glover, but I was like 6 years old. And his wife's name is Ophelia. I don't know her last name yet. Were often able to provide insight into their husband's needs and conditions. She has, through such outreach, found 13 veterans of war to serve as Frank's employees. It's like Monkey Ball. The community support has been unendingly and overwhelmingly positive. It has gotten to the point where if Frank bids on a project, other local companies have decided to step back and let his soldiers handle it. This has become a bit of a sore spot for, I mean, you know, I could understand. You're scared of the soldiers. They're coming back with PTSD. Who knows what they're gonna do? There's a sore spot for local politicians and business owners, as the bids are often not as low as they expected. The problem for them is that essentially Frank has a selective monopoly, but any attempt to circumvent it has caused an uproar and accusations of being un-American. It's uncertain what will become of Wildcat Construction, but at least for now, we're rooting for them. Get it? We're rooting for them because they're an unknown root tree. Let's see. What can we... Maybe I should look up Ophelia Williams. Maybe there's an article about her. No. How about Frank Williams? No. Okay, take us back to Wildcat Construction. Is there anything else here? Did I look up Navy Cross? Well, I'm not reading, okay? The detective in the video game is reading. I'm just sitting here. I'm just talking. Why? Is it what it says on the page? I'm just winging it, you know? Hello, Tien. Hope you're having a good day. Uncertain what will become of Wildcat Construction, but at least for now we're rooting for them. This is kind of a strange stream to jump in on because it is just reading articles to try and put together a family tree starting from 1921. It's kind of like reading Lord of the Rings. Did you see the article that we read about the Nazis? I'm pretty sure that J.R.R. Tolkien fought for them at one point. I don't know. Take us back? Oh, hold on. I'm wrong. Hold on. I've got an idea. Am I confusing him with someone else? I thought he was a soldier. The Bocadero Library. We haven't looked that up in the Miami Mercury. Miami Mercury had an article about the Bess Williams section in the Bocadero Library. There's an expansion of the library in 1950. Wildcat Construction made a new statue. Me, Rogers, and Bob Ross 2. I've been saying that for years. Me, Rogers, and Bob Ross 2. Mr. Rogers. Hold on. I'm getting a little lost in the sauce here. Wildcat Construction. Wait, Mr. Rogers was a soldier? I know Bob Ross was a soldier. Everyone knows that. Learning Mr. Rogers as a soldier is like kinda whack. I'm gonna be honest with you. That's wild. Do I need to look up Constructing a Better World? No. This isn't helping. Hold on. Go back to Wildcat Constructions. He returned a hero. Okay, well, he's a construction worker. Williams Frank. is a construction worker. What else have we got here, though? Do I need to research the Nazis? If I look up Nazis on the internet, will I see an image of Frank Wildcat Williams, like, stabbing one with a bayonet? Ophelia has also handled outreach to the wives of local veterans. I feel like I should be able to figure out who Ophelia is. What if I look her up on the internet? It's a pic of you getting stabbed by a bayonet, Alrose? What the hell? Ophelia Williams. Anything about this lady? No. Frank Williams. Frank Wildcat Williams. Okay. He's on different military history websites. He was awarded a Navy Cross Medal in World War II, and the story goes that even after being struck in the arm with a bullet, he managed to carry a fellow soldier through enemy territory on his soldiers for over 2 miles. He died in 1996, age 74, in a retirement community in Sweetwater, Florida. An obituary on the website of a local... Oh, I should probably try and figure out who that community is, huh? His surviving family also sheds light on some of his personal life. He grew up an orphan because his family died in a hurricane when he was very young. He could barely remember his mother and has no memory of his father. After the war, he ran a construction company that mainly hired World War II veterans and did a lot of jobs in and around the greater Miami area. He was a born joker, and he lived in a society. An anecdote mentions that he used to insist he married his wife Ophelia as a matter of courtesy and convenience. She wouldn't have to change her last name. Thank you, Silentworks. Hope you're having a wonderful evening. Okay, so Ophelia Williams, her main name is also Williams. And hold on, we got a picture of this guy, right? What the hell? Hold on, what's happening in this image? Is he juggling? Okay. Oh, thank you for the $2.50, Tien. Thanks for the subscription, #username. I'll fix that. Remind me to... I'll remind myself to fix that. Hold on. Fix sub message Twitch. Okay. You know what this guy's fucking doing? You know who this guy is? You guys don't know this, but I know this because I'm a real gamer. This motherfucker right here, this is the original Hammer Bros. He's the guy. Look at him. He's doing it. Here's Mario and Luigi. You know the Hammer Bros that I'm talking about. He's gonna jump up. He's jumping up and down. He's swinging these hammers. They're doing flips. He's about to kill these 2 Italian men, dude. It's because he was a World War II veteran. He's used to killing Italian people. He thinks he's still fighting the fucking war, dude. He sees Mario and Luigi and he thinks he's still doing the fucking war. He's like that Japanese commando or whatever that was out in the Philippine jungle attacking random Filipinos. Because he's still fighting the war like 40 years later. That's the Hammer Bros. No, I don't think so. I think they're too young. I don't think they were even alive. I think that the Hammer Bro, he's still fighting World War II 40 years later is all. I think it's tragic what happened to the Mario brothers. Anyway, I forgot what I was talking about. Adults in 1980? Yeah, but you'd have to be born in like the 30s. They'd have to be like 50 years old in 1980. Because you have to be 18 in like 1939 through 1945. So what's that? That's like, you have to be born in the late 1920s at the latest? I guess that is true. My uncle's a plumber and he's pretty old. Frank Williams, Hammer Bro. I like the little image that we get of him where he's like, he's holding up his hand like, hey, what about it, bud? He looks so fucking Bostonian.
Hey there, it's us. So I just have to say, the work you're doing here is fantastic.
I just have to say the food here is fantastic.
So fantastic, in fact.
We're gonna adopt you, son.
There goes Clark. Always the bad cop. Go ahead.
Well, our law firm, Ruby Legal Enterprises, is having trouble keeping up. They're actually begging us to stop submitting new root trees. They said it's getting difficult to verify your progress.
I'm doing it right.
Well, consider that a good thing. I told Clark you'd get results.
She says that like I didn't believe her. Regardless, the bad news is it's going to take 5 potential tree additions before anyone locks in from now on.
That's okay. I'm pretty sure that's the end of the game if I get
Good
5
luck.
more.
And keep up the good work.
Like, how many more people are in this tree? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, don't worry about me, man. I'm on one. I'm on one right now. A photo is attached to Frank in his youth juggling hammers in front of one of his construction sites, as he was often known to do. According to the article, he is survived by Ophelia as well as his daughters, Barb and Sharon Williams. Barb and Sharon, huh? Probably Barbara Williams? Let's try Barb. Maybe her name really is Barb. Barb Williams is a motivational speaker, and she has a website that explains the services she offers. Her company's address is listed in Coconut Grove, Florida. Who we got? Barb Williams advertises her career as a motivational speaker online. This flyer includes 3 different testimonials from Greta Jones, from WQTV 12. Did I look that up? Vix Elmsworth from the Kickiwa Falls Gazette, and Isabel Crosby, the superintendent of Benton County. Okay, hold on. Let's look at this first. Overcoming adversity with Barb. Her story will surprise you, uplift you, and energize you. A lesson that anyone can take something away from. An intimate evening with a truly wonderful message. Book Barb for corporate retreats, church events, or even school assemblies. She can customize her message for any audience. That's crazy. That's fucking crazy. That, like, she's just putting out flyers. Can you just do this? Maybe I'll start doing this. I'll just put out flyers and say, you know, if you need someone to talk about something, I'll be there. It doesn't matter. I'll show up at your bar mitzvah. I'll show up at your company retreat. I'll show up at your kid's birthday. I might just show up anyway. I'll just start showing up places and talking. Just to, you know, I'll do some pro bono work. Nobody will even have to ask me. I'll just fucking be there, man. You try and stop me. Try and stop me. Okay, we got a lot of clues on this one. Let's look up some of these news stations. Greta Jones is, according to a flyer in your possession, the morning news anchor from the channel WQTV. I mean, I'll do it for free. I don't know if I was alive when you were in high school, but I'll do it. Just find me a way to get me back there. I'll pretend to be Gorbachev. I can do it. I like fucking pizza, dude. I love pizza. It's my favorite food. Unfortunately, WQTV 12 has no online web presence whatsoever. You may need to do a deeper dive on a specific city and state to see if any locals have discussed the news in that area. Oh, fuck. Okay. Next to the city, Springfield, under the heading Effingham County. I'll take a note of that real quick. Put that in my journal. And how about the Kickiwa Falls Gazette? There is no Kickiwa Falls. Oh. The closest thing is in New Zealand? New Zealand. A man named Chris Elmsworth has invented a small town paper as a conceptual art piece. He's doing Welcome to Nightfall back in like the 50s, dude. He's doing unfiction. The Kiki Wall Falls Gazette is a series of online articles about small restaurant shows and other tourist attractions all across the United States. This is presented as a monthly newspaper for small town America. The bit strange is that it's amongst the articles detailing real locations or occasional stories that present outlandish, inflammatory concepts in extremely mundane ways. For example, on the homepage right now is an article entitled Mermaids Strike Back Against Lobster Farms. There's an article entitled that is using very dry language, details the idea that the mermaids in Maine have begun to unionize in support of better benefits. There are no punchlines, and the article is not marked any different from the rest. He really is doing Welcome to Night Vale. Unfortunately, each current issue on the paper is presented on the homepage. There are no archives of older issues. Okay. I'm assuming there's no independent page for Chris Elmsworth? No. So I don't think that this is useful. Who's the last person? Isabel Crosby? Isabel Crosby? I feel like that's something that you-know-who would say back in the day if he had one too many. Isabel Cosby! Hey! Sorry, I don't know. Benton County. What is Benton County? There's 9 different Benton counties. There hasn't been a Benton County in Florida since 1850, so you're not sure which one Isabel Crosby comes from. Searching for Isabel Crosby doesn't lead to anything that seems to fit what you're looking for. I mean, that makes sense. He's not Albert, right? Hold on. Well, first off, Barbara Williams. Hold on. I'm a little confused. Frank Williams had 2 daughters, Barbara and who? Who? Hold on, hold on. History. He is survived by his daughters Barb and Sharon. Okay. But if he's survived by his daughters Barb and Sharon, what the fuck is happening here? He has 2 daughters. One is Barb. I don't understand. I don't understand what this is. That's a great movie, by the way. Barb and Star. It's gotta be one of my favorite comedies. I'm confused. So these 2 had 2 children, Barb and Shariah? Wait, who's the other woman? Sharon. Barb and Sharon. Let's say this is Barb. These 2 give birth to Barb. Barb gets married to John Doe. They split up. Why is this string connected to this person? Who I'm assuming is Sharon, because they had 2 daughters, right? Guardian adoption or otherwise? Cloned? I just don't understand. This person has 2 daughters. Okay, I should look up the other Williams. Sharon Williams. Nothing. Okay. Maybe she lived in Miami. There's something about her in there. No. Barb Williams? No. Barbara? No. Effingham County. Let's look up Effingham County, see where that is. 2 different counties in the United States. One is in Georgia, the other is in Illinois. You probably need to append a state name to your search. Okay. Georgia. There's a Springfield in Effingham County, Georgia. What's the other one? Oh shit, I don't know how to spell Illinois. Illinois? Springfield is the capital of Illinois, but after perusing some of the results, you find that it is not located in Effingham County. Okay, so we know Effingham County, Georgia. Springfield? Maybe I look up Springfield, Georgia? Television around Springfield, Georgia. You come across a website that lists different channels available there. The list seems to only feature broadcasts with female news anchors. The person who runs the website has ranked each using 3 categories. None are relevant to your journalism. One of the entries is Channel 12. The news anchor listed is Greta Flores. Channel 12. Well, hold on. Springfield, Georgia, Channel 12. Greta Flores, Channel 12. Okay. Greta Flores used to go by Greta Jones before her divorce. Compared to the ordeal you've gone through to simply figure out her current name, it's way easier than you expect to find out that she has a website of her accomplishments. She apparently was the MC for an all-female speaking tour in 1977. True. Maybe I'm doing some good work by actually putting this information together. We're outing her. The tour was called Storytellers of Sisterhood, the Mothers and Daughters of Earth. You do a search for it, and it seems some of the stories were compiled into a book simply titled 25 Stories of Sisterhood by Ayla Hale. Okay, Ayla Hale. Remember that? We're going to the public library. Ayla Hale. It's an anthology of stories told on a few different Storytellers of Sisterhood tours. Transcripts. Ayla Hale is the editor, not the author. One of the stories by Barb Williams has been added to your evidence. The first part of her story focuses on 2 16-year-old girls. My sister Sherry was always a brat, always skulking, often disobedient. Not skulking, that's sulking. Skulking is like hunting, like she's a weasel or something. Often disobedient, never on time. Could you imagine, though, like, if your sister was just, like, feral? Like, you're just, like, a normal 16-year-old girl, and you're, like, at high school, and, like, you're, like, you know, you're relatively popular, but then, like, your sister shows up, and she's, like, you know, she's sniffing around the place, and she's, like, pouncing on people, you know, and you have to be, like, listen, she's my sister, okay? Okay? We're gonna make this work. She borrowed things without asking and even ran away from home, only to sneak back the next day like nothing had changed. My daughter Sharon, on the other hand, was a beautiful person. She had excellent marks in school. Wait, what? Barb Williams wrote this. Okay, Barb Williams must be this person, because she has 2 children. So this is Barb Williams. Barbara Williams. She has 2 daughters. But her sister Sherry. Oh, yeah, okay. So this is Sharon. Sharon Will.I.Ams. I'm gonna be honest, I know that we have this picture of her. I don't know what her job is. She's a TED talker, maybe? Is Talker on here? No? Not a real job? Is she a streamer? Not a real job? I don't know what she does. She's a public speaker? I feel like that's even a more fake job than streaming, because at least streaming, like there's a point, you know, it's supposed to be entertaining. What the hell is a motivational speaker? What are your qualifications to be a motivational speaker? Public speaker? Like what? How do you know whether your public speaker is qualified or not? Like her flyer just says, hold on, I gotta see it again. I gotta see it again. All she says is, I can talk about anything. I can customize my message for any audience. Am I just supposed to look at this lady and, I mean, she's kind of dripped out. Like, what did this lady do to earn this, you know? Like, I understand if they, like, get, like, Obama to be a motivational speaker, right? Like, he was the president. I guess that's true. I feel like they should tell me more about why she's interesting here. It also says overcoming adversity. And I don't know what her... It's probably going to be in this book, honestly. I should just read the book. My daughter Sharon, on the other hand, was a beautiful person. She had excellent marks in school, was intensely artistic and creative. I should write this down. And even volunteered in animal rescue. That could be relevant later. Maybe she's a veterinarian. She continues to tell stories of the two girls until she shifts the narrative. What was the difference between Sherry, the brat, and Sharon, the beauty? Is it nature, nurture, a better education? Oh no, she's terrible. Different opportunities? The answer is nothing. There was no difference because my sister and my daughter are the same girl. What the fuck are you talking about? How is... My sister and my daughter are the same girl? Hold on. Okay. I've changed my mind. This is Barbara Williams. Here's her picture. This is Sharon Williams. So that explains why it makes this weird square. My daughter is my own sister. That means that... Did she have a child with her own father? Is that why she's overcoming adversity? Is that why she's a motivational speaker? Because she's the best at incest? The best to ever do incest? We should read more. We should read more. Barb reveals that her daughter was the result of an unexpected pregnancy when she was only 15. I met a boy at a county fair. Unlike us, he lived in the nice part of town. He went to the good school. To a teenage girl, it felt like a fairy tale, but there were boxes all over his house. He was moving in 3 days. Those 3 days were heaven to me. The final night, he surprised me. Told me he could actually see me again soon. He planned to return to visit his grandparents. I thought I was giving him a reason to keep his promise. I never saw him again, though. And when I finally got desperate enough to ask around, a friend of a friend told me he hadn't even given me his real last name. Ooh. Barb also talks about when she found out she was pregnant. I was convinced my life was over. But my parents, they took charge. I had to live at home and work a part-time job, but they removed the burden of motherhood. I managed to scrape out a degree in English, and as far as my daughter was concerned, I was her much older sister. Barb uses the story to come to a conclusion. When I was younger, I thought my sister was a brat. And I wasn't wrong, but she ran away from home to work at that animal shelter. She borrowed my clothes for presentations at school, and her creativity allowed her to open up Sherry's hair. It took me far too long to realize the beauty was always there too. In fact, the brat and the beauty exist in all of us. It was my inner brat that kept me blind to the truth. Dude, this lady, I know that she wrote this in like 1972 or something. She would go crazy for Charlie XCX, can I tell you? It was my inner brat that kept me. She would love the inner brat. And I'd like to say, it's the beauty in me that's finally able to see what I was missing. I implore you to call upon the beauties in yourselves whenever the brat tries to take hold. Oh, beautiful. That's motivational right there. Anyway, let's look up Sherry's hair. Whatever is my thought on that. There's a Sherry's Hair in Orlando. The owner of the business is listed as Sherry Yastrzemski. Sherry has a large van and on weekends can bring the style of Brittany, Christina, or even Rachel to your door. Rachel Dolezal? Honestly, that's a pretty good advertisement. Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera. These are two very white women. Rachel Dolezal? You're telling me that you know how to do, black hairstyles. She's got some breadth to her, She's got some range. The About Sherry section is very, very long and presented as one paragraph with multiple run-on sentences and no pictures. You get the sense that if she were to do your hair, she'd be doing a lot of talking. It mentions that her husband, Pete, was her late husband's college roommate. She and he had never spent any significant time together until she became a widow, and they built a charity together. They left the charity behind because it was growing beyond their ability to run it. Okay, hold on. Hold on. Barbara, you are a public speaker for some reason. Sherry Williams, you are a hairdresser? Her late husband. Hold on. Take me back. It mentions that her husband, Pete, was her late husband's college roommate. Okay, so her new husband is Peter. It was Polish, right? Some name? Hold on. What was it? Yastrzemski. Yastrzemski. And wait, no. Did I get... Wait, hold on. Did I get it backwards? Her husband, Pete, was her late husband's college roommate. Yeah, okay, no. Pete Yastrzemski. She and he had never spent any significant time together until she became a widow, and they built a charity together. They left the charity behind because it was... Hold on. Highlight that. That's probably important. What else do we got? She also brags about her kids, Tony, Mark, and Cricket. Her oldest, Tony... This is Tony. Hold on. There's no first name Tony? Thomas? Is Tony short for Thomas? Anthony. Anthony. Yes, dude. Okay. I had to think for a second what Tony's short for. Let's just take a note of this so that I don't forget who their names are. Tony seems to get the short end of the stick. His listed 2 accomplishments are that he's the oldest and he's a straight A student. Mark, on the other hand, has multiple baseball accomplishments listed. Apparently his little league team is nationally recognized. Naming your children Mark Anthony? A little fucked up. Mark. And then this is Cricket. Last name must be Yastrzemski, right? We don't know her previous husband's name. We're actually dangerously close to beating this game. We should look up his little league team later. Cricket York. Oh, what the hell? His name's not Yastrzemski? Are you sure? and has an entire section dedicated to her. She's an actress on a local television show called Library. And the reason Sherry relocated from Miami to Orlando. Sherry, in addition to being hireable to come to do your due, is a stylist for the show. Okay. Cricket York. Okay, because Cricket got married. But we don't care about her husband, apparently. She is an actress. An actor, sorry. Oh, this is, you know what? I'm glad I came back here, because I didn't even think. I should look up Library. The passage also mentions that her agent recommended they change her last name to York, since it was easier to pronounce. The rest of the section describes how she got the part, but it seems unimportant to your search. Okay, so it's just a fake name. York is a fake name. Her real name's Cricket Yastrazinski. Let's look up Library. The children's show filmed at a studio in Orlando, Florida. Been on the air since 1991. Multiple adults and children interact with different animal puppets in a small town called Library. Unlike other popular shows involving non-human performers, this one isn't funded by the public. Instead, it's paid for by donations from businesses related to education. This includes textbook manufacturers like Corathmetic, tutoring companies such as EDUC82U, Educate U, and a few well-known publishers of picture books. From what you can find, it's Could you imagine, by the way, having like Sesame Street be funded by, you know, like the Scholastic Book Fair or whatever, and so like Elmo has multiple times an episode, Elmo goes to the Scholastic Book Fair to buy some new books. Instead of just being paid for by public broadcasting. It's syndicated a few markets across the southern United States. Like most other children's entertainment, many of those that grew up with it tend to have fond memories. That works in your favor because the show has been documented by a few fan sites. There's even a library web ring. I don't know what a web ring is, though it only has 3 entries. You click through the sites in the ring and find that Cricket York joined the cast in 1997 at the age of 5 and is still listed as a current cast member. A picture of Cricket from one of her first episodes has been added to your evidence. Which one's Cricket? I can't add the raccoon, so. She's with Pooftail from 1997. According to the site you found it on, the theme of the episode tackled why some people need glasses. Okay. Cricket York. This is from 1997. So she's still a child. She's a child actor. Spider-Man... Listen, Spider-Man's wife has a name, Blorb. Her name is Mary Jane Watson, by the way. Come on now. And I don't think that he gave her a poof tail. I think that might actually be like a slur. I might have to take this VOD down. What else do I have to see? Maybe I should look up Educate to You. It's a tutoring service. They have a deal with Library and feature some of the actors from the show and pictures on their website. According to the site, they actually provide tutoring for all of the actors and actresses on the show to accommodate their shooting schedules. Included is Cricket York, who is seen in a photo labeled Cricket and her brothers ready to learn from one of our 4 talented tutors. Oh, a web ring. Of course. Of course. There's Cricket. There's Mark, and there's Anthony. Let's get him in here. Anthony, Mark. Okay. This is going swimmingly, man. I thought that this was going to be the hardest part, but it's not. It's actually fine. Who was the other sponsor? Arithmetic Math Textbook Publishing Company. They did full comparison of their 4th edition textbooks and their 5th edition textbooks. How often is math changing? I feel like this is just a scam, right? This is messed up. I don't think math changed very much from 1996 to 1998. Schools were complaining that the 2 editions seemed remarkably similar, yet Core Arithmetic was charging almost double for the newer edition than they had for the previous one. Okay, so the website agrees with me. The news program announced that between the 2 books there were only 16 total changes. Jesus Christ! The most notable was that the cover was changed from a picture of a water droplet creating concentric rings on a lake. I feel like I had this textbook, to a close-up of a feather. The other 15 were all instances of changing 4th to 5th. This even led to a geometry problem where the book asked students to calculate the 5th side of a triangle. Oh, sorry, of a rectangle. I was confused for a second, because I said it, the 5th side of a triangle, and I was just, I was just head empty when I said it. And then I was like, wait a second, 4th side of a triangle? No. Nobody associated with core arithmetic seems to be related to your search. Okay, so it's just here for me to get angry about. That's fine. Look through the sites in the ring and find that Cricket York. I should look up Cricket York, right? No, she's only related to this site. Oh, okay. No. We have everything we needed about Cricket York. We know her. We know her father. I guess we could get a picture of him somehow. We also need a picture of Sharon Williams. Let's figure out what her sons are doing. Where's my history? Oh, hold on. Wait. Library. Is that not how you spell library? Library. Look this up in the periodicals. Look this up in Business Watch. Look this up in the Butler County Times. Look this up in News Time. Piketty. It didn't air in Portland, I'm pretty sure. Silver Screen Magazine? Teen Blast? I mean, it's a children's show. Probably not. Okay. Library is not useful to us. How about we go to the Miami Mercury and we look up Sharon Williams. Cricket York. Let's see. Sherry's hair. Was there any mention of where this is? Orlando. That's not Miami. Sherry Yastrozemski. Okay. Pete. Okay, we should look up Peter Yastrozemski, right? Pete Yastrozemski? How many genetics could there possibly be? There's only 2 genders, am I right? Am I right, gamers? That's all. You only need to know man and woman. Those are the only 2 genetics you need to know. If anyone tells you otherwise, they're being woke. Okay, they had a charity. Mark has multiple baseball accomplishments listed. Apparently, his Little League team is nationally recognized. Okay, if I knew his last name, I could probably find him on some sort of article. But I need to figure out what her first husband's name is. I mean, it's also messed up because you name your first son Anthony and you name your second son Mark, like Mark Anthony? You're just naming your second son based on the name of your first son? I'm kind of okay with cricket, okay? I don't mind cricket that much. I don't know, maybe I'm crazy. I don't know, people are named after animals all the time, you know? True, true. Okay, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna look up Yastrozemski. And I'm going to look up cricket Yastrozemski. Never mind. How do we figure out who she was married to? Was there anything in this book? Beauty and the Brat? The same girl met a boy at a county fair. Unlike us, he lived in the nice part of town. I never got his real name. Barb also talks about when she found out she was pregnant. I was convinced my life was over. I managed to scrape out a degree in English, and as far as my daughter was concerned, I was her much older sister. She borrowed my clothes for presentations at school, and her creativity allowed her to open up Sherry's hair. In fact, the brown beauty exists in all of us, and I'd like to say it's the beauty in me that's finally able to see what I was missing. Apparently there's still 2 clues on this, but I mean, I feel like they must be related to Sherry's hair. Sherry's hair in Orlando. The owner of the business is listed as Sherry. Pete was her late husband's college roommate. We gotta learn something about Pete. Pete Yastrozemski. You from Miami, Pete? From Butler County? You a businessman? Maybe oh, he's a chef. Nope. You a musician? You ever been on national TV? You from Portland? I don't think he's a teenager. Check where he went to college? I don't know where he went to college, though. How do I find that out? That's what I'm saying. I gotta learn something about this guy. So far, I only know that he's married to Sherry. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like if I can find like a college website for these people, I might be able to find like a yearbook photograph of them together since they're college roommates or something, right? But I don't know what college he went to. They also have a charity that I should probably look up. But what could the name of the charity be? She and he had never spent any significant time together until she became a widow, and they built a charity together. I will take a note of this just in case I forget. Pete was her late husband's college roommate. Pete Jastrzemski. Nothing. Peter Jastrzemski. Miami. Well, Orlando. They met in Orlando, perhaps? So maybe Orlando College? Orlando University? Okay. Pete York? Well, they changed they changed Cricket's name at the request of her agent because Jastrzemski is too hard to pronounce. So I don't know if he would change his name. No, they didn't change her. No, they changed her. Her first name was Cricket. It's always been Cricket. Her last name was Jastrzemski, and then they changed it to York, so her name is Cricket York. And this is what she looks like. You still gonna be mean to her? Vader Jastrzemski? I mean, this guy's... Oh, okay, no. You know what? I think it's true. I think that we're gonna get a picture of both of these guys from like a college yearbook or from like a college news article or something. But that's the only thing we're missing. We're just missing what the name of their college is. If I knew anything about Pete Jastrzemski. Hold on, maybe I need to research her sister and mother more. Barbara Williams, maybe she's written some more stuff. Barbara Williams? Barb Williams? Should I look up Coconut Grove, Florida? No. Flyer has been added to my evidence. Is there anything useful on this flyer? I feel like maybe I'd need to look up these people more. Greta Jones and Isabel Crosby. Isabel Flores was her actual name? No? Did I make notes of it? I know that I looked them up. Let's just look it through our history real quick. Greta Flores. Greta Flores is a news anchor who apparently used to go by Greta Jones before her divorce. She has a website for her accomplishments. She was an MC for an all-female speaking tour in 1977. The tour was called Storytellers of Sisterhood, the Mothers and Daughters of her... Okay. Greta Flores knows Barb Williams because they went on tour together. I have to look up Ayla Hale, I think. The editor, but they don't have any website. We looked up the Storytellers of Sisterhood, right? Yeah. What else did we get? Springfield, Georgia. Okay. We got Greta Flores from here. Isabel Crosby, according to a flyer on Barb Williams' website, is the superintendent of Benton County. There's a Benton County in 9 different states in the U.S. There hasn't been a Benton County in Florida since 1850. Searching for Isabel Crosby doesn't lead to anything that seems to fit what you're looking for. Dead end? Or just gonna try. Benton County, Georgia? No. WQTV 12? Okay, this was just to find Greta Flores. Is there anything else in library that was useful for us? Oh, okay. Hold on. I have an idea. Cricket York. Maybe she's in the Teen Blast magazine. No, she's too young. Is she in the Starlet magazine? No. Probably not in the Silver Screen. Okay, never mind. This might not... This is nothing. This is nothing. Was there anything on Corithmetic that was useful? A primetime news program did a full comparison. You know what? If a primetime news corporation did something on them, it could be news time. Dang it. Okay, Piketty? No. Alright. I also don't know how that would help us at all, so maybe it's for the best. I also hope so. Maybe I'll catch you later. Nobody related. I wouldn't know. I haven't played any of the Persona games. I'd more likely play them if they weren't 80 hours. If they weren't 2 full work weeks. I must be missing something about Sherry Yastrozemski. Sherry Williams? Mentions that her husband Pete was her late husband's college roommate. She and he had never spent any significant time together until she became a widow and they built a charity together. Sherry... How can I figure out what charity they built? They left the charity behind because it was growing beyond their ability to run it. She also brags about her kids Tony, Mark, and Cricket. Mark, on the other hand, has multiple... I mean, I just need their last name. But to get their last name... Oh, wait, hold on. Cricket York is near the end and has an entire section dedicated to her. She's an actress on a local television show called Library, and the reason Sherry relocated from Miami to Orlando. Okay, so she was in Miami. Sherry was in Miami. Was she ever in the news? Sherry Williams? No. Sharon Williams? I guess that's her real name. Sharon Barb Williams? None of you fuckers ever got in the newspaper? Tony Mark in cricket. Mark, on the other hand, has multiple baseball accomplishments listed. Charity. Charity. They built a charity together. Okay, Sherry is interested in animals. Sherry is interested in animals. She would want to build an animal charity. Sherry charity. Maybe, okay, no. I'm not completely stuck. I mean, there's a lead somewhere. I'm very close to... I just need a picture of Sharon Williams, is all I need. And, well, no, I also need their last names. Evidence. Should I look up Pooftail? Pooftail the puppet? I don't know why that would help me. Okay, I'll talk to my duck, actually. Give me a hint. 5Ps is a musician. It's possible that some of his music could be helpful to you. Wait, what are you talking about? I've already got 5Ps, didn't I? Yeah, I've already got 5Ps here. Why are you telling me about 5Ps? Released an album recently that sounds the most promising for your investigation. Find or search for root of all evil? Why are you telling me to do this? I already have 5Ps. All Your Problems was the first and only single released. After dropping the single, 5Ps announced he had retained the infamous celebrity lawyer Stevie Whitlock to sue his family. To date, it doesn't seem like he's followed through. At first, the single didn't make much of a splash, but Whitlock, known for publicity stunts, paid thousands of teenagers a few dollars an hour to call and request the video on MTV, which increased its profile. She botted MTV? They banned the video altogether, which in turn received national news coverage and made the song even more popular. But let's look up Stevie Whitlock first. Stevie Whitlock is a lawyer with a history of publicity stunts and grandstanding. Still, she's managed to rack up quite a few legal victories in C-list celebrities. Became famous in the 1980s after successfully suing a multinational sandwich company whose 12-inch subs were actually an average of 11.5 inches long. Stevie argued that since the company sold 1 billion sandwiches per year, that was enough missing sandwich to make a sub long enough to span from New York to Los Angeles. The jury awarded her a paltry $5,000, but the news coverage of her crusade turned out to be priceless. Okay, none of this is relevant. Show me all of your problems. I don't know how this could possibly be relevant. The subject matter of the song is the hypocrisy of those that claim money is evil. He points out that the only people who think money is evil are those that have it. Those that can afford not to be greedy. In the song, 5Ps triumphantly talks about taking the Roottrees' wealth due to it being his birthright and giving it to those who need it most. You find a copy of the song on a suspicious-looking website and download it. How could this possibly be relevant?
Attention, attention, Roottrees. This is 5-piece coming at you from the real world. You know, the place you ain't ever lived in.
You say money is the root of all your problems. Root of all your
Man,
problems.
y'all are hypocrites, sitting back in your massive estates, built from the cash that your ancestors gave you, acting like you somehow deserve it, based on your family's creations. Yo. But looky here, sonny, don't you come for our money, or you might burn bright in hellfire someday, like that Madsen chick and her two dads. My pappy's cleansing trust should keep you away. Yo, it's disturbing, catching a sermon from a geezer who's never known hurt, but blurts out these claims that somehow we're sinners, cause we didn't earn it. When all of your worth it came free with your name, you expect me to treat your lectures on greed as some expert creed from he without blame. How about instead, I turn my other cheeks.
Not very good, huh?
When you give me a kiss, you'll know just where to aim.
You say money is the root of all your problems. Let me
Do you have any? Are there any clues in this?
Whoever calls dollars the root of all evil, just trying to make small pursuits of real people. You silver spoon feeds you the world's purest treacle, while real world folks burning spoons for the needle. So once more with passion, tell this poor tragic orphan how your mansions and Porsches are actually horrible. How I'm better off penniless, grasping for morsels. How wanting my share, that's actually extortion. With your candy ass name, synonymous with sweets. Oh, you wanna call me classless? I'm gangster from Portland, but I play that game. I came up on the streets. The only streets you reppin' are Park Place and Boardwalk. Hypocrisy, monopoly is toppling. When I knock, have G's. Top off my pockets, please. Cause the same God that got to steal my mom from me is what he wants, right? For you to live in poverty. And if you're suddenly not eager to unhand that fortune, that's unfortunate. I guess I'm gonna have to take my portion, and I'll do it all legally. Class action, courtrooms, decorum. I'm way past your fancy ass dormant.
You say money is the root
He wants to.
of all your problems. Let me take those problems
Nothing.
away.
It's not important. Don't worry about it.
You say money is the root
Bring the choir in.
problems. Let me take those problems away. You say
Okay, he doesn't say anything else.
root of all your problems. Let me take those problems away.
Okay, does that help me?
Whoever calls dollars the root of all evil, just trying to make small pursuits of real people. You silver spoon feeds you the world's purest treacle, while real world folks burning spoons for the needle. Whoever calls dollars the root of all evil, just trying
It's
to
not.
make small pursuits of
This isn't useful to me.
silver spoon feeds you the
Rubber Duck, why did you send this to me?
real world folks burning spoons for the
This didn't help me at all. And a lot of important information in your last investigation. Now that some time has passed, it's worth looking into some of it again. Reminders in your evidence goes over the most important people and events from the last investigation. One of those people mentioned in your reminders is Carolyn Morden. She seems like someone who would have spoken up about everything going on. Okay. Carolyn Morden. You did a television interview. Someone has uploaded a partial transcript of that interview into the television section of a messaging community. The transcript is only her answers and is missing the questions. This creates a somewhat confusing reading experience, but does give you a bit more history about Carolyn and some of her family members. I noticed that it doesn't say that there are any interviews, or there's no intuition here, so I feel like the game is giving me things that are not relevant in my hints right now. Like, these are things that I've already solved. I've never really fit into the family, so it didn't surprise me. She could have put me in if she wanted to talk about the time during my activism days when I almost got arrested for stealing the spark plugs out of all of her tractors, but I don't really think it fits her narrative. They never tried to kick me out or send me to live on a farm, if that's what you mean, but I was already pretty unpopular, and once everyone learned why I divorced my husband, few people paid me any attention. She's my wife, not legally, but we've been together for half of our lives. Call it what it is. I was 20 and I had just had my daughter. I hate to look back on that time because I was a terrible mother the first few years. I left my daughter with my ex-husband and followed Guy on a private jet to Europe. He lost a tooth and a client. I found love and still better understanding of who I was. Still, in our family eyes, his trip was somehow more acceptable. Explain that. I couldn't stand him. My family wrote off his behavior like he was some huge fan of romance or women, but he didn't like the entire woman. It was doubly awkward for me because he was more supportive than most. I slowly figured out it was because he assumed I would be as shallow as he was. He was a workaholic. He seemed nice enough and did a good job. I didn't know him well. That was one of Sam's problems with our family. None of us did except Carl. Honestly, I get why she's pissed. I'd rather not speak ill of the dead, not unless you want more stories about Guy. With Carl, though, all I can say is that we used to be friends before they sent him to private school. Came back a lot judgier. It made sense when they made him president. He was a lot like my father after they disciplined the fun out of him. After I started protesting the farms, he stopped returning my calls. He's harder to label. When I was a teenager, he was basically drunk or high or both all the time. He actually used to sell me pot. His problems with women were different than Guy's, but he never really judged me. I guess he knew it would be pretty hypocritical to judge anyone for anything. Back then, he was destructively unreliable in every way, but nowadays he's just kind of boring and old. I prefer that to how he used to be and to Guy and Carl, but it's still a cautionary tale. I hope I'm never that boring and old. Okay. Didn't give me any new information. Back to the duck. They want me to read her diary again? I don't want to read her diary again. I know, I've searched the life between wars. I have it. Somewhere. I know I have it. Lauren Roottrees. A Life Between Wars. I don't have it? There's no way it's useful. No intuition, by the way. There's no clues on this. So many girls I went to school with have taken multiple lovers. So many of my girlfriends' husbands have been unfaithful. If I'm able to remain true to the ghost of a man with no chance of physical reciprocation, no potential for a long conversation, how would it be so hard to love someone that you can reach out and touch? I've not had to deal with such madness at home. My parents are a perfect match in the worst way. My mother's cruelty is a perfect fit for my father's general spite. In turn, pop status enables her incessant need to gloat and feel superior. I have grown up with their cruelty and disdain for others in my entire life. Even my family remains unspared. Blood is thicker than syrup, but nothing's thicker than Elias. They mimic Grandma Gwyneth's lisp and see her kindness as a weakness. Eliath, pleath, remembered Tham. Not even our family's maladies and religion go unmocked. Remember, God only put one eye in miracle. I can say, without a doubt in my mind, that my parents have never had eyes for anyone outside of their marriage. They're too self-centered to look astray. Not useful. I feel you're taunting me, Duck. You're giving me hints to things I don't need to see. I don't think this is going to be useful either. They're giving me these things, but they're not relevant to what I'm looking for. It's just pictures of people I already have. Him, Guy Hudson. Photo of him, his father, and Guy Hudson. While they were distracted, he snuck into the supply of chocolate they kept for visitors and tours. Chris Rafferty did not know who the woman in the photo was. Oh, no. Oh, fuck. I'm gonna be talking to the duck a lot, I think. I don't remember anything about this whole part of the family tree. Okay, well, we have a new picture of Guy. Why do I have pictures of Chris Rafferty and his kids? Can I go back up and put them on Chris Rafferty? That's you, Chris Rafferty? That's your father? Who else? We lived there with Pete, my stepdad. My dad and I spoke a few times when I found his phone number on a check he sent us in the mail when I was 15. He was happy to hear from me, and now he calls me once a month and came to visit me at college. He tells me about things I don't remember and people like Guy Hudson and Ernie Madsen. My dad and I get along, but obviously we aren't very close. I used to know the Roottrees, but never the sisters. I was in the office sometimes when I was a kid, and I definitely met Guy Hudson before he died. My memory is weird. It's hard for me to know what I actually remember and what I only think I do because I have pictures. For example, I have a photo from when I was 5 in the office with my dad and Guy was there. I made myself sick by eating chocolate and some woman who I don't know cleaned my face. I don't know if my memories of that come from the picture or not. I knew Ernie had a heart problem because my dad told me one of his phone calls. I asked him about the poison because I saw it on the Roottree Curse website, and he emailed me some old stuff including the proof, but even with the proof on the website, the website didn't take it down. You spelled fiancé wrong. I'm not good at spelling or writing. I'm good at painting and other art. I'm going to school to learn how to edit movies. I want to make cartoons someday. Lulu is much better at spelling. Okay, so what year was this? Shoot. Because this is either Susan Ford or Suarez Sonia. She's got a tattoo on her hand. Why does his dad have a trash can, by the way? Is he gonna put the child in it? This sucks. I don't... This sucks. I don't remember. This was like 2 weeks ago. Wish I had some indication of... I mean, she has such a prominent tattoo. I feel like that would be relevant. Okay. Talk to the duck again. I do... Okay. Spider search. I do remember that website. During your initial search, you came across Thomas Overwood's conspiracy page about the Roottrees. 8 months later, the page still exists and is thriving. The visitor count has reached 7 digits. Many older articles have been replaced. It seems that the recent uprising in Roottree news has left Thomas Overwood with a constant stream of events to base new theories on. More than one of his theories involve Roottree deaths being faked. According to Overwood, statistically, when you have this many high-profile people who have died in a family, the odds are that one of them has faked their death. It's just math. This newfound focus on death faking seems to coincide with a post mentioning that he's begun believing the guy's not dead theory. In his own words, my eyes have been opened, all of this is beginning to make too much sense. One of his posts details the belief that Ron Roottree is still in charge, Gwyn Roottree's death was fake, and that Clark is only there to throw people off. Apparently this has allowed Ron to travel to France to develop their new candy recipe in secret. Another is about the rapper 5Ps. He simply can't possibly be a Roottree. One of his first album songs, when he was performing under the devil name, actually mentioned that he wanted to have sex with Raina. Not even Sam Madsen is spared. According to Overwood, the author of 6 Pieces isn't real. Sam Madsen is an anagram for Am Madness. They're purposely leaving hints for us. He claims that by using 6 Pieces with Lauren Roottree's book as a one-time pad, He has begun to decrypt a cipher. Most of the cipher has seemed meaningless, but he managed to pick out the words people and vastness, and is working on figuring out what it means. There is also a request at the bottom. Next year, 2000, is a leap year, and Overwood is looking for funds and volunteers to catch the Roottrees red-handed in Operation RT-29. He specifically mentions not to volunteer if you've ever drunk Spirit Cola. Doesn't go into why. Okay, let's look into Operation RT-29. This is an old page. Okay. Thomas Overwood. I think maybe I should look up Guys Not Dead. The Guys Not Dead conspiracy stems from a website that focuses on clues that the Roottrees have supposedly hid all over the place. This includes on candy wrappers, in print advertisements, in television commercials, in their jingles. The story, according to the website, is that Guy Hudson was a terrible president of the Roottree Company and introduced multiple failed products. Something needed to be done that would put the company immediately and instantly back in favor with consumers, so they killed off Guy Hudson and replaced him with a new president. This move immediately garnered sympathy, and the company recovered the next year far more popular than ever. The president stayed much further out of the limelight, and some people even theorized that he was simply Guy Hudson in an elaborate disguise, which is why he stopped appearing in public. The people who run the site are asking for help. They're certain that there's a clue to all of this that accidentally leaked in a banned article from the magazine Piketty. On their site is a scan of the magazine's cover, the interview with Cicely Sanchez about Guy Hudson, and some photos. Okay, this is... They actually gave us something huge now. Claimed to have been paid a significant amount to write a book about one of the Roottrees, Guy Hudson. He was president for a short period at the end of the 1970s. I met him on New Year's Eve, actually, the last night of 1978. Guy liked to throw big parties. I was just coming off of Changed Man and looking for my next project. When his wife learned who I was, she invited me to the party and they cornered me to talk about a book. That was the first time anyone recognized me from my work. I had finally made it. The book that they asked me to write sounded great, but then none of the stuff that made him interesting was allowed to stay. Chop, chop, snip, snip, anything with even the slightest threat to Guy's image ended up no-go. At his core, Guy was not complicated. In fact, I think I could boil him down to two traits. First, he wanted to be seen as the second coming, the great Elias Rootree. And second, he'd never be satisfied living the life needed to be seen that way. He had his fortune and good looks, and he really liked to exploit that to pick up women, but he couldn't let anyone else know, so it cost him a lot to cover it up. That was the only interesting aspect of Guy. He was James Bond trying to convince people he was Mr. Rogers, I guess. Maybe that's not the best metaphor, but Elias Rootree was boring as all hell and all about family. Guy did everything he could to be seen that way. After I submitted my first draft, he sent me this garbage book, The Roottree Legacy, with Elias on the cover. The last time he and I met, he even switched out his orange suits for the same green ones Elias wore. And remember fancy flavors? Guy knew that part of Elias's legacy was the 5 pieces. So that's what Guy tried to do. Caviar was a disaster. It was actually somewhat popular in Brazil for some reason. Christmas 1979, he went to Brazil to open the Rootree Brazil factory. Guy was always hopping around the world trying to recreate that success. I had an out in my contract. Surprisingly, Guy signed the contract my lawyers wrote without running it by anybody in his legal department. I could pull my name off the book at any time, but Guy still got the content. After I left, it probably got a lot harder to convince any real publisher to give it their time. If I had to guess, his family very wisely put a stop to it. Mid-1981, months after I had already moved on, he called me back and showed me a final draft. You know how expensive it is to publish one copy of a book? It had my name on it in big, shiny, embossed letters. Like all problems in his life, throwing money at me was his attempt to win me back. But it had half the page count, and the narrative was torn to bits. No thanks. The dinner was good, imported steak that likely cost as much as a month of my mortgage, and we all got pretty drunk. He sent his mistress Susie something into the bathroom to proposition me, poor girl. I remembered her from her trip overseas. She was too good for him. Anyway, he died soon after, and that was the last time it ever came up. What can you tell us about the family? I just skimmed the sections on Guy to see why people were suddenly calling me up to ask about the man. I'd say she did well for what she has to work with. She only had rumors, whereas I spent time tailing him. Sometimes he knew, sometimes he didn't. He invited me to join them when dealing with Roottrees Brazil, but I actually had people on him when he went to Australia, France, and China too. When he met with someone, I'd figure out who they were and how they were involved, doubly so if the meeting happened when he didn't want me to be around. Despite his best efforts, I got the whole truth, including things even his family never knew. For example, the daughter of his business partner in Australia, I think her name was Robin, he and she definitely spent a few nights together that he didn't want his family to know about, but I did. Sam mentions guys' affairs and treats them like most people would logically think to treat them, like the infidelity was a problem for Patricia. When his wife first approached me, though, it wasn't to talk, if you get my meaning. On paper and in public, it was a marriage like any other, but in reality, it was more of a mutually beneficial arrangement. They both got what they wanted out of it, the same thing. I'm assuming I only have to spell it out so you can get it in writing for your readers. Women. Patricia enjoyed the company of women, and the swinger scene made that more accessible. I told her I wasn't interested in her and Guy. Found out later that if I had said yes, her next question would have been whether or not her husband actually had to be there too. Guy, on the other hand, was seen in a traditional marriage and at the same time could bed any woman that found him charming. I can assure you that was exactly the type of marriage he was interested in. Okay. What are our pictures? Okay. We know who these people are. This is Sonia Suarez and her husband, Edson. Okay. And there's a picture of Guy. What's the other picture? Wait, who's this? Wait. What's up, Alrose? Of course. Sure. I've got a little bit of water left. Only a little bit, though. That's all I have. That's all I got. Thank you for joining us. Piketty does not label its individual photos. Both photos were instead under the shared label. Cicely was provided these photos by the Roottrees Company for use in her book. In the background of the photo, there is a Christmas tree. That's true. See ya, Alrose. Hope you have a good night. She's got... This is Susan. Okay. This is Susan Ford. And that's another picture of Susan Ford. Huge. What's this? That's... Okay. Piketty does not label its individual photos. Cicely was provided these photos by the Roottrees Company for use in her book. Okay. This is Christine. This is Guy. And I think that the other photo is Zachariah Morden. I still have 5 pieces of evidence from the Barb Williams flyer somehow. Did I finish the Piketty? No, there's still one clue. What could it be? What do I still need about Guy Hudson? The only thing it seems that I'm missing is picture of his... of Mark Hahn, but I don't think Mark Hahn's in there. So Duck, talk to me. Wait, Flavio Suarez. I already have Flavio Suarez. Duck, why are you failing me? Ashley York in Teen Blast? I have. I already know everything about Flavio. I was in Rio for Carnival and he was on one of the parade floats. I had no idea who he was, but I liked what I saw and told my people to invite him to a party I was going to. Felt pretty stupid once I realized that we were going to his party. Well, his mother's party. He runs a media empire down there called Transmiss Sao Paulo. The massive media group owned and run by a mysterious woman named Sonia Alves. Team Sonia Alves is a common name in Brazil, so she has shortened her name to Nia, to stand out in the public's eye. According to a history page that's focused on company and vague, searchable details, Nia received a significant inheritance in 1980 and invested in many different manufacturing businesses in her hometown in Brazil. At the same time, she had just begun to learn the ins and outs of running a television network. She continued to work in television until 1988. She launched her own media company using her investment and connections. Now her company owns television networks, magazines, newspapers, and advertising forums. After doing some translating, the page about Nia lists her as unmarried. Does not go into any other relationship history. Searching for Nia online, you learn that she stays out of the spotlight. She doesn't even appear at shareholder meetings. She sends a proxy. Sonia Alves? Nenhum resultado relevante, which is Portuguese for no relevant results. Oh. Oh. Because her name isn't Sonia Suarez, her name is Sonia Alves. Okay. That's good. Ducky, send me on a new trip. Roottrees broke ground around Christmas and you have a photo of guy looking amorous at that time. I know! She's right here! Sonia Alves. She's a news anchor. I know. Ducky, why are you making me look like a dork? Oh. I have her job wrong. She used to be a news anchor. Now she's a media mogul. Whoops. Also got the following. Jastrozimski, Peter. Bunch of pictures. Bunch of pictures. Back to the duck. We're at the part. We're in the last 5, okay? Team Talent Club was associated with an institution. Oh. Was it? Team Talent Club. Mid-Eastern University. What is that? It's a notable private college that advertises itself as a midway between Maine and Miami. Their mascot is the Spectres, though they are not known for their sports programs as much as their education. Their legal language departments are their pride and joy, though they also have fairly extensive computer science and robotics programs. Along with other prestigious schools that haven't quite reached their notoriety of Ivy League schools, some refer to it as Little Ivy. The college has embraced this, calling their newspaper the Herald, which is a combination of Hedera and Herald. Their website boasts they have a historical technology museum on campus that contains Includes a still functioning computer from the 1960s that takes up a full room. They also have a printing press that they use to print one special year-end issue of the Heldarold each year. Okay, this is what we needed. Now we're going to figure out... Now we're going to figure out our guys. What are their names? Peter Jastrzemski. We need to look up Peter Jastrzemski. Do I have a... Sherry's hair. Where's Peter? Maybe it's in my notes? No. Ah, shoot. Delete page. You're gonna make me actually look up her name? Okay, Jastrzemski. Copy. Periodicals. We got the Heterold. Peter Jastrzemski. What? Pete Jastrzemski? Shoot. Oh, fuck. That's terrible. We can probably get this guy's name. Mark Hahn? Okay. Team Talonclaw? Lists 3 student members and talks about their history, including their interest in robotics. The only one that catches your attention is Lucy Lang. She grew up in China as Min Lang, but came to the US specifically to attend university. She says she grew up around factory-scale machines that assembled products that would be shipped all over the world, and the moving parts and automation fascinated her. However, as she progressed through her majors, she has become obsessed with smaller, more powerful hydraulics, such as the mechanism that closes Talonclaw's weapons. In addition to robotics, she loves linguistics. One of her hobbies since coming to the States has been collecting accents. In her spare time, she practices not only removing any trace of her native inflection, but also quickly switching between multiple different regional accents. She feels her personal best is the Southern Belle, but her favorite is the Valley Girl, due to its use in popular culture. Article has a picture. Well, I have terrible news for earlier Fox. I was wrong. It is Lucy Lang. And there's a picture of her. Oops. I got it wrong. Listen, it was complicated, okay? I know. Her name wasn't Lucy, though. It's been weeks, man. You can't blame me for this. Okay, Doc. I need you. I did learn Lucy Lang's birth name? I did? Oh, is Min Lang. I'm stupid. Sorry, I'm getting lazy. Min Lang? Okay, Doc. Tell me where to go next. If you knew Lisa Clementine's occupation, you could probably place her on the tree. Lisa Clementine. I do know her occupation. Or I guess I don't know her occupation. What are the options? Is she a doctor? Lisa Lincoln? She lost her a limb in Desert Storm. Makes another appearance listed as a professor. Oh, okay. Short biography on the staff page mentions that she has a passion for the military from a very young age due to erroneously believing that a family member was an Air Force pilot. Later learned that to be untrue. Her passion remained that she joined ROTC in high school. Okay, so she's a professor. Whoops. Professor. Thank you, Rubber Ducky. You've been more help than you could know with the last 5 people. Did I not do that? Wait, what? I looked up the Kikiwawa Falls Gazette, but I didn't look up the author? Okay, that's me being dumb, I think. He's one of 3 brothers that all contribute to the Gazette, and he tends to focus more on southeastern United States. All the articles he's written are archived on his site, including the long-form version of the review for Barb Williams' motivational show from 1997. According to Victor, he had seen Barb talk more than once. On this particular occasion, Barb's talk was at a very large church, and it was clear that she was an expert at matching the presentation of her concepts for any particular crowd, because she received a standing ovation. Barb started with a story about loss, specifically the loss of a bicyclist who had been hit by a car. She spoke about the death of any person as a darkness in their loved ones, a cold, empty void that begins to creep into a space where there once was light. Because the light can never return exactly how it once was, she says the only option is to nurture new sources of light to help fight back the darkness. Her conclusion was that finding the hidden meanings in tragedy is the most important thing we can do. She used multiple biblical comparisons and finished it by looping around back to her initial story and how she personally began to come around to this ideology. The biker who died was her son-in-law, and the Lanes Across America charity was created to fill the newfound darkness her daughter experienced. Okay. Lanes Across America. That's the charity. This is huge. The pages and pages of news articles that mentions Lanes Across America have a similar summary in them. It was formerly Lanes Across Miami, was founded in 1987 after the death of Drew Smith. Drew was biking home from work when he was hit by a car. Okay. That means her first husband is Andrew Smith, which means your children's names are Smith. Mark Smith and Anthony Smith. We also have Lanes Across Miami we have to look up. They now have offices over 12 major metropolitan areas, including Miami, where the charity began. The website for the charity has a picture of Drew. A photo has been added to your evidence. Show me that picture. Hello, Drew. There we are. And then we have to look up Lanes Across Miami. It was formed in 1987. It was formed by Sharon Smith after the death of her husband. Sharon and some other board members stepped down in 1992. One of the oldest articles has a full uncropped version of the same wedding photo from the LAA website. It seems that the Sharon left LAM, they began to crop her and the rest of her wedding party out of the photo to focus solely on Drew, who is the face of the charity. The full photo has been added to your inventory. Uh-oh. Okay, well, we know who this is. That's Sharon. That's Sharon Williams. That's the best man. That's Peter Yastrzemski. And then who are you? Are you Grandma? Oh, no, it's your sister. Of course. Okay, and your mother. So I guess you are Grandma. Your sister mother. Okay. That's huge. These guys are students, I think. Student K through 12. You're student K through 12. We did it. Wait, I still have 2 left? Oh, it's the secret ones.
Hi again. I know you probably thought you were done.
Yeah.
But it turns out what you're doing here might have some pretty major repercussions on the family tree.
Again. Also, there's something really strange happening. I can't explain it.
Neither of us can.
I'd call it a simple misunderstanding, but it's digging at the pit of my stomach. I just have a feeling. Clark?
Last week, let's just say being the president, sometimes people bring me things.
Just skip to the important part.
Miso soup.
Right. One of our janitors brought me some hair she'd found in Ruby Spratt's trash. It was Bonnie Hudson's. Bonnie is Guy's sister. She'd sent us her hair to test potential root trees, since her DNA is closest to Guy's. But Ruby threw it out, and I wasn't sure why she would have done that. Especially right before we began testing the tree you provided. When I asked, she told me she thought the samples needed to be fresh every time they did a test.
It seems really odd. Ruby was the one who convinced us to do DNA testing in the first place. She seemed so knowledgeable. I don't like it. You've done more of a deep dive on these people than anybody else has. Clark will keep a closer eye on the DNA tests from now on. You have an eye for anomalies. We need you to find the smoking guns.
If there's anyone you're 100% positive can't be a root tree,
Or any you've got definitive evidence are root trees, then we might be able to catch Ruby in a lie.
I mean, I do, because I'm pretty certain. Wait. Inconsistency. Now's the time to review all possible root trees and input your deductions. You'll then be able to end your search and reveal the truth. You have 13 possible root trees left to identify. Is a root tree. This fucking sucks, bro. How am I supposed to remember this? I did this weeks ago. I'm so tired of this game at this point. I'm sorry. I really thought that Anonymum was a root tree. Right? I'm tired, boss. I'm tired of going through old articles and trying to remember what I've already done. Filling in this person is optional. There's a lot of clues about David Fellows, huh? I guess there's a real chance that he's not a root tree. I'm tired. I thought we beat the game a second ago. I don't understand. Acorns, I don't know if I want to finish this game. Because they're asking me to remember stuff from weeks ago, and I don't remember stuff from weeks ago. Like, I'm sure that when I was doing these, and I was like, you know, I don't know if this is a root tree or not. This might not be a root tree. And, or like, there's times where I was like, oh, this is certainly a root tree. But I don't remember. I mean, I assume that I'm gonna go with my gut and say that everyone that I said was a root tree is a root tree, except for maybe 5Ps, because he was DNA tested. He was a basket baby, huh? He was a rather prominent supporter of the concept of adoption, and someone decided to test how much. They left a baby on her doorstep in a basket. According to the site, she adopted him without question and raised him as her own son. Although it wasn't national news, in many circles he became known as the basket baby, and Evie went on to tour with her as he grew up. And the website state who the women to the baby were, likely to prevent people from looking into either of the people too closely. From context, you know that it's Mary Beth Clementine, who would later be shunned due to her personal life, and her son Mark, who would later be known as Crocodile Clementine. Well, I mean, he is a basket baby. I don't know for a fact if he's... You might be a root tree. You are a root tree. Suarez, you are a root tree. Ford sisters are root trees. You want to know for a fact whether Ronald root tree is a root tree? Brother, I don't fucking know. 12 diaries? I don't know what to do. 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 God, I'm so tired. I'm so tired of this. So hungry. Now, okay, this entire time I was like, I don't know what people were complaining about when it comes to the DLC. You know, I think the DLC story is pretty good. I'm into it. But they're like, oh, it's too much of having to backtrack. And I was like, I don't know. I don't think there's that much backtracking. But now they've given me, you know, the new objective of verifying everybody. And I'm like, this is too much backtracking. This is too much for me to backtrack. You're asking too much from me right now. I don't want to do it. I want to beat the game. I want the game to be over. Okay, well. Fuck. We'll come back next week. We'll come back next week and do this. We'll do this next week, I think. We'll do it. We'll do it, okay? We'll do it next week. We'll do it live. We'll do it next week. I need a break. I need to go eat lunch. I haven't eaten. The only thing I've eaten today is a protein bar. I'm too hungry for this. So, with that having been said, I'd like to thank everyone that joined us this evening. It's been a wonderful time, and I hope you had a wonderful time yourself. Thank you to the VOD watchers. Anyone watching the VOD right now, you're a real one. We're going to be back on Monday with the getting the true ending of Silent Hill F, and next week we will be finishing this game. The Roottrees Are Dead. I fucking hope so, bro. And I forgot what I was saying. I'm so hungry. It's all I can think about. With that having been said, I'd like to thank everyone for joining us this evening. It's been a wonderful time. I hope you had a wonderful time yourself. We're doing it every Monday and Thursday from now until the end of time. And that's it. Okay. For now, I bid you all goodbye, and also, good night.